Hey guys, Dr. Ernst here. I want to spend some time today teaching you the correct way to get in and out of your car. One thing I notice a lot, especially if you have sciatica or a back pain, is that while we all love our cars and they're responsible for us getting home into the office, they can be sometimes the most uncomfortable items to be inside of, especially if we're dealing with back problems. So in order for me to explain how to do this, I want to show you what you should not be doing and how you're not supposed to get in a car, and then I'm going to teach you how to actually do it properly. So of course, I have my car here, and the way most people get into a car is they simply come up and put all of the weight onto one leg, put their opposing leg into the car, and then sort of swing themselves in and, like this position. And while it works, the problem is we put a lot of the body's weight onto our SI joints and our hips. And then singularly, just like we try to come back out, we tend to do the opposite. We come out, we put one foot down. Usually we're trying to pry ourselves out, or we're putting the majority of the weight and the stress onto one side of our hips, and then we'll come out of the car. And again, while that works, and it gets you in and out, it puts a tremendous amount of stress and strain against your back. So the appropriate way to get in and out of a car is actually to treat it like it's a seat or a chair. If you've watched my video before about how to get in and out of a chair, we want to do the same thing with our car. So how we're going to do this effectively to protect our back and make sure it stays healthy is stand with our back to the car chair, squat down, come into the chair, make sure we get into the car, and then we're going to either use our hands or something to sort of assist and swing our legs. So now that we're in this position. And likewise, getting out of the car is the exact same process. We can either support or use something to pull ourselves off to the side, both feet planted evenly, arching our back, coming to a neutral position, and not swinging forward or putting all weight onto one side. We simply spring up using our quads. This method of in and out of the car is the most efficient because it's going to spare your back, protect your discs, not put a tremendous amount of strain onto your hip, and help you guys to be healthy as you're traveling. So now that we're in the car, the next most important thing is for us to ensure that we have our seat placed properly. The number one issue with most car seats and the positions we have them in is that the angle is off in reference to the seat back. You'll see here I've positioned this in the classic position most people place their cars. And the problem with this is we have too much of an angle between the back seat and the central portion of the seat. You do not want to be more than 90 degrees. If anything, you want to be right at 90 degrees. Now with this car, we have several features. Yours will be, something similar or something to that effect, but I can move the seat top forward and back, and I can even change the angle and the position of the seat itself. So I can go make it more of a bucket seat. I can raise it up, make it more of a level seat. The best thing to do is to get about a 10-degree angle, so 10 degrees down with a 90-degree seat position. I'm going to get into the car and then show you how to know if it's placed properly. So the best thing, of course, is I want to get in the car the way I taught, which is to squat down, come back, zoom in. And what you'll find is if I sit in a neutral position, you can see how there's still space between my head and the headrest. So this is not up to the right position, so I'm going to keep continuing to push this until all of a sudden, as I sit straight, I can tell that now my head is rested against the headrest. If I tilt this back, notice how the headrest goes away, but my body stays centered. So if I can simply find the spot just as the headrest starts to connect, this is the perfect position for this car seat for myself if I'm driving or traveling. Okay, so I'm sitting in the driver's position, and I want to sort of show what a perfect driving position would be with our steering wheel placed, of course. I want my arms to be somewhat bent but not locked. So a lot of steering wheels will have the ability to come in and out, so we can change its position ultimately as well. So we don't want it too low down and we don't want it too high up. So the way to find the best placement for your steering wheel is simply to hold it at sort of the 10 and 2 position, and you're looking for just a slight bend to the elbow. If it's too low, what you'll find out is that it's going to create too much of a bend. And if it's too high, you're going to see that the arm is completely straight. So you want to bring it just to the point where you see just a slight bend in the elbow, and that gives you good positioning for it. Again, what we want is when we sit to have our head rested up against the headrest, We want to be able to see a nice arch to our spine, and you don't want to drive in the classic pattern like we see with most people, which is too far back in sort of a slumped down position, because it puts a tremendous amount of stress and strain on your pelvis and your back. Hopefully you find this video informative, because a lot of times our car can be one of the biggest hindrances for our back, our hips, our legs, especially if you have sciatica or back pain or disc issues. So using these techniques can make your drive to and from your office healthy and also make them feel better for you. Thanks so much for watching.